Hi everyone, welcome to the module 8 part 2. This is very important module in terms of because we are going to connect to a database, okay, show you how a database works. Basically, how do we write a code to connect to a database and see we can do a database operations through the Python code, okay. So what is that we are going to do over here is I'm just trying to show you my. Let me just open up my. Okay, let me open up my sketch. Okay, so what we need from here is this, guys. Okay, so we have a Python code, okay, and we have something what we have downloaded in the previous session, right? So this is my WAM server, right? And this WAM server has got MySQL, right, as one of the database, Apache, and then this is P for Python and W for Windows. Okay, now how do I connect through my Python code to MySQL? Okay, now this is somewhere MySQL is running, right? Now the thing is, the moment I write my Python code, I would need certain libraries that will help me to connect to my database. Okay. Now, so what are the couple of things that would be needed? So the first thing we would need is a module called MySQL client. Okay. This module you can install it. I have shown you the steps previously. Pip install MySQL client. Okay, so this is what we would need. Okay, again, where do you install this? You will install it once you go where your Python directory is stored, or Python is installed. Go to the scripts folder, okay, and then execute this command in your command line. Okay, so that anyway is covered previously, right? We have also seen the installation of WAM server, right? Now let me show you that my WAM server is running or not. So my WAM server, if you see, it is running successfully, right? Now what we will do, guys, okay, let me start my let me connect to my WAM server, okay, and try to log in into my database. Okay, so PHP admin is like the interface through which I will log into my MySQL database, right? So the root is the username and password is blank. We have all seen this, right? We have a database called employee underscore imaginesoft, and we have a table called employee. Okay, so there are 4 records in that. So I'm gonna do one thing. Okay, I am going to delete everything. Okay, right. Now what we will do, we will start writing our code. Okay, so let me just open up my this thing editor. Okay, now if you see that let me do one thing. Okay, let me just do this import, and the module which I'm going to work with is MySQL. Okay, so this is the module I would need, and another module I will need is a system module. I'll tell why do we need this. Okay, now once I do this, okay, I would do a connection. Okay, and say connection, and now I would use this MySQL module, okay, and call the connection method on this. Okay, so I'm gonna say connect, right? Now I'm gonna pass some parameters. What are the parameters we would need is, we would need localhost. Okay, we would need the username. Okay, this is the root. Password is blank, right? And then I would need my database name. So my database name is employee hyphen imagine soft. Okay, so this is my database. Okay, now okay, now once I connect to my database, okay, I would basically do, okay, I'll just print out that connection established. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, let me first save this file. Okay, let me just write it. Okay, I'm gonna print and say connection established. Connection established. Okay, now let's run this code. Okay, so it's asking me to save. I will save it. Let me save it into E. Okay, in videos I'll save here. Okay, I'll save this as module 8, or let me do one thing. Let me go here E and then store it into Python module 8 part 2. Okay, let me save this. Do you want to replace? Yes. Okay, so if you see this, the connection has been successfully established. Okay, now let's say if I change this. Okay, now this is the database which is not available into my repository, and let me run this for you now. Okay, now if I run this, you will see a traceback call and there are a lot of exception. Okay, right, unknown database this. So how do we handle this, guys? Okay, and that is where we would need our try catch block, right? So we have already learned about try catch block. One second. Okay, so this is my try block. Okay, and in this try block I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna I'm going to say accept. Okay, exception as E. Okay, and I'm gonna say print the error, right? So what we are gonna do, we are going to print this error. Okay, so I'm gonna say connection error. Okay, and I'm going to print the error. Okay, right, and then if there is an error, what we should do, we will basically call sys dot exit, right? Okay, fine, right? So let's run this again. Connection established. Let me now change it for you and run it again. Now if you see this unknown database, it is like the exception has been handled successfully, right? Okay, now this was the very first thing that we wanted to see, right? Now what typical operations you do in a database, guys? You would insert a data, right? The first thing that you will do is insert, right? And then you will update, delete, and all of those things, right? And select finally. So what we are going to do, we are going to see one by one. Okay, so first thing I'm going to show you is insert query. Okay, form the insert query. Okay, now let me just do this and write my insert query. Okay, insert into, what is my database, guys? Employee imagine shop. But what is my table? My table is employee, right? So I'm going to insert into employee, right? And now what are the fields available for us? Name, right? We have seen the schemas also, right? For this, name, location, team, and salary, right? So we already created that schema. Okay, so name, location, right, salary, and team, right? So these are the four things, four column. And what are the values? Okay, we just write the values. Justin, let's say the location Bangalore, salary 5,000. Okay, testing. Okay, right. Okay, so this is how I create my SQL, and how do I execute this, guys? So we are going to execute it. 1 second. 1 second, guys. I'm not sure what is this happening. Okay, okay, no problem. So let's run this. Okay, so let me just do this. Okay, let me have this way. Okay, and then let me write the query to execute. Okay, so I'm saying connection dot query. Okay, and I'm going to pass this query, right? So this is how I will insert my first record. Let me run this for you. There is something wrong, so let's see what is wrong with this. 1 second, guys. Okay, let me run this. Okay, so there is something wrong over here. Okay, now, okay, so fine. Now, okay, so now this should be fine, guys. Let me run this. Okay, so let's see if the data has been successfully inserted or not. Okay, so let me just run this query. Okay, select star from employee. Let me just click on go. Now if you see this, guys, so when 0 of 0 rows. Okay, okay, so why 0 of 0? It should return this, right? Showing 001 total. Okay, okay, so this is how this is one day. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, I'm not sure what has happened, but yeah, so it just, okay, so it will return it returns me this record. Okay, Justin and Bangalore testing, and the salary is 5,000. Okay, to SQL. Go. Okay, right. So one total. Okay, and this is how the data is being shown. Okay, now let me try to insert more data, guys. Okay, so what we are going to do, okay, this is one data. Now we'll insert couple of more. Okay, okay, I'm gonna copy this. Okay, and I'm gonna just do control V. Okay, do control V. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to insert a record for Justin, and then we will, let me just change it to Davis. Okay, and let me change his location to Chennai. Salary, let me change it to 6,000. Okay, and let me change from testing to development. Okay, and okay, now what we will do, we will insert for Charles. Okay, now the location, the salary. Okay, and let me change it to support. Okay, now finally what we are going to do is let's insert another value, okay, for trace also. Okay, and let me change the location to Chennai. To testing. Okay, so now let's do this. Okay, so now we have inserted 4 records. Okay, let me finally do one thing. Let me just print out this rows inserted successfully. Okay, now let's run this. So all the rows have been inserted successfully. Let's run this query and see the results. Okay, so these are the 4 queries. Now trace. Okay, so Justin has been inserted twice. Okay, so there is no primary key constraint as such. Okay, so id is like by default, so it is getting incremented, no problem. Okay, right, so now what we will do, guys, okay, so this is how I insert it, right? So let's say I wanted to do an update operation. Okay, so let's now consider the second step from the update query, right? Okay, now update queries would be simple, guys. Okay, we just have to write a query which will update it and say that update is successful. Okay, so again I'm gonna do this. Let me copy this. Okay, okay, and in place of insert, what I'm going to do, update. Okay, and I'm gonna say update employee. Okay, now the syntax for this is set. Okay, I'm gonna set, let's say I'm gonna set the team or set the name. Set the team. Let me set the team. Set team. Okay, and let me set this to, let's say I wanted to set it to production. Okay, production, right? Set team is equal to production. Okay, where? So where, now where I'm gonna say name. Okay, right? Where name is equal to Justin. So what this will do for Justin, it will change his team. Okay, so it will change his team, right, from testing to production, right? Okay, and then finally I'll re-execute this query. Okay, connection query dot SQL. Okay, and it will get up. It will be. Let me just write this also. Rows updated successfully. Okay, now one more thing, important thing is, since we are going to reinsert, it will have a duplicate records. Okay, because our table is not constrained with the primary keys right as of now. So what we will do, we will comment out the insert part now. Okay, so let me comment out the insert part. Okay, so I have commented out the entire thing. Okay, we already have records and we saw we have 5 records. So let me run this again. Okay, now if you see this, okay, it has been successfully updated, right? Now let's go back and see in our code. Let me go to the query window and see. Now if you see this, for Justin, the team has been changed from testing to production, right? Okay, now the thing is, okay, so let's do a pause for here, okay, and see where exactly how much. Okay, let me stop here. We have already seen insert and update. We will see delete and select for, as part of another video.